for the opportunity. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Jump right in here. So my company is called Red Rooster Group, and we're in the business of transforming organizations. I've been in business for 20 years with this business, specifically focusing on nonprofit organizations, although we have a great depth of experience with businesses. My partner, Larry, ran the Great Global Direct Network, and so he has a lot of experience with large corporate clients, and then he ran the Direct Marketing Association. So he has a lot of experience in revitalizing organizations and with the accountable marketing practice. And so together, we're working to shift our model to be transformative to organizations, mid-size organizations, bringing as he likes to call it, a C2C level approach, a C-level executives working directly with clients. And so our brand, Red Rooster Group, is all about waking up businesses and organizations. So the question is your organization asleep? Has it reached a point, for your clients, as they've hit some type of status quo? They have, in terms of their growth, in terms of their services, they're looking to enter new markets. They're looking to take their organization to a new level and revitalize their brand and their overall organization. So we help to wake up organizations. Some of the ways that we do that are on revitalizing existing brands. That's a large part of the work that I've done over the last 30 years. Launching new brands. I'm going to give you a couple of case studies, quick case studies today. One of them will be about that. Shifting business models. I'll talk to you about a case study for that as well. Gaining visibility, entering new markets, launching new services, creating more awareness, things like that. We work a lot with engaging audiences and driving participation in programs. We will work a lot on the fundraising side and increasing revenue. I'll give you a case study about that. And for the nonprofits that are looking to achieve impact, as well as businesses, we work with coalitions, we work with foundations. For example, we work with the Annie Casey Foundation on child welfare, changing the nature of their the service models in that sector, and on criminal justice reform. So large scale societal impact. And so, we've worked across sectors in all areas of nonprofit disciplines, from child welfare to veterans to arts, environment, and so forth, as well as across direct service organizations, advocacy and policy groups, foundations, and government entities. So really understand the nonprofit, social service, public sector landscape. Oops. We bring a behavioral science approach to our work, and using behavioral principles and applying them at various stages of the client engagement.
Are you changing the slide? I still see the first slide.
Oh, really? So this hasn't been going on. I'm going to stop share and reshare. Yeah, I think when I go into full screen mode, I was going through this. Oh,
I counted 33 pages, or I saw the 33, 1 out of 33, and I realized, no, this is not right.
Yeah, this is not real. All right, you're seeing it now.
We are. Is your organization asleep?
Yeah, let me see if we can go into the full screen without it.
We see just we don't see a full screen. We see the Adobe. Is it Adobe? Yeah.
Yeah, it's PDF, I think.
Yeah. We see the PDF. We see the Adobe PDF. But you can use that. It's fine.
All right. You're saying your organization asleep?
Yes.
All right. You're saying wake up your organization?
Yes.
All right. All right. We'll just do it this way. I don't know. The full screen is not really working. All right. So these are the kind of the areas, we look at the organization overall. All right. And then I was talking about the various, expertise across client areas and the social service sector. And I was talking about the behavioral science methodology of applying behavioral principles, understanding psychology that drives decision-making. I wanted to go through quickly a few case studies. One's on launching a new brand. This one happens to be for a business, not a nonprofit. The question here was, how do you introduce a new financial designation? You've heard of CPA, you've heard of other chartered financial planners. Our client had come to us with this registered Social Security analyst. They had an accredited course that was approved by the IRS and other financial boards, and said, we were able to, use this certification. People could use if they pass the course in the proctored exam, they could use RSSA, and they can help people to maximize their Social Security benefits and be an advisor on how to use different claiming strategies and at what age, and how to navigate the 1,200 rules about Social Security and maximize their benefits. How do we bring this into the world? And so, we did a lot of research for them, online focus groups about the viability, of it, what people would pay, and pricing models, and both from the consumer side as well as from the recruiting RSSA side, who would be a good candidate for this. And we've identified an encore market of seniors who had retired and were looking for a second career. And so we mapped out the overall strategy for the organization. We developed the visual identity. We created a hierarchy between the brand and the parent entity, the National Association of. We worked on the message strategy, this line, personalized service to optimize your Social Security benefits. And we created an overall strategy for recruiting potential RSSAs with the value proposition, earn money. As a registered Social Security analyst, we created a website for them, a recruiting website. We created videos and marketing materials, print kits, digital elements that conveyed the benefits of being and engaging in this new profession. On the consumer side, again, we developed the value proposition for them of getting all the Social Security income you deserve. We developed case studies. We flew out to California and filmed actual people who were helped and created video examples. We demonstrated it with charts and information. We've identified different audience segments that could be helped, and developed a suite of print and digital collateral materials, videos, presentations, email campaigns, and so forth to attract consumers and drive business. And then on the RSSA side, once you become a registered Social Security analyst, or during the course of it, there's a website that you log into in order to take the course and track your progress on the course and on the exam. Once you pass the exam, then you get a portal that allows you to conduct business, and including ordering marketing materials through a print-on-demand service, and billing your clients and so forth, creating customized web pages that feed into the consumer site and that generate leads. And so we mapped out all the technical specs, wrote, designed, developed the websites, for this entire project. And so they're off and running. They launched kind of in the COVID moment when this hit. So they hired a salesperson now to do the recruiting on this, and hopefully we'll be able to claim some major success on this project. Another case study talks about evolving a business model. In this one, they wanted to go from a private model to a public one without destroying their reputation. The client is the Genesis Prize. It's $1 million prize that's awarded to a prominent individual for a lifetime of accomplishment. They awarded to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Michael Douglas, Michael Bloomberg, Yitzhak Perlman, and others. And they had an elite selection committee with Elie Wiesel and some Israeli Supreme Court justices and others that were making the determination of who should win the prize. And they wanted to shift to a public voting model where they would engage the public. But they were really worried about eroding the brand, the value, and not having prominent people. There's not that many prominent Jews, and having them accept the award or not accept the award, they wouldn't accept the award or be in a public kind of competition and lose the competition. And so we, over the course of a year,
5 minutes left, Howard.
all right, thanks. We helped them navigate through this overall process with the nominations phase, and we galvanized 34,000 nominations for them with creative that evoked people's memories on who might be Jewish. We led them through a voting phase with multiple ads and videos, static ads, animated ads, videos, multiple languages. And then the announcement phase across, to Steven Spielberg was just announced as a winner. He regifted his $1 million to organizations, and we helped to drive some attention to that and the civil rights type organizations. And we engaged 2 million people in this, over 131 countries, 250,000 votes, way exceeding their expectations on this campaign and giving them a strong foundation for continuing. And we're continuing to evolve them. And then lastly, if I can squeak one in here on fundraising, our client had a tapped out donor base. The client's life moves. They run 24 shelters or really nice facilities for people who are homeless in Silicon Valley, the heart of homelessness, which was already experiencing problems with the Silicon Valley tech firms out pricing, home ownership, and but the COVID exacerbated that greatly. They had gone to their base and they had raised a lot of money right before we entered the picture, and so they had to now raise more money. We came up with themes for them. One theme we came up with was put a roof over someone's head to help people kind of visualize what they could actually do and make a difference to support this proven program to return people to stable housing, to help people visualize, actually take part in that. In addition to the letter, we created this insert that has stats about homelessness, but you cut it out, you make a couple of cuts and you fold it, and you make a house. And so you can help, it kind of helps the donor understand about, putting a roof over someone's head and getting engaged in the mission for them. Then we had to follow that up with, and that doubled the number of lapsed donors and doubled amount raised. And then one last one, we had to, for the year-end appeal, our stakes were raised, but again, using some behavioral principles to engage people in their mission, and particularly what they were doing to address COVID. We have this theme of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and enticing people to open the flaps one by one to learn more, and then get the payoff with the emotional payoff and the call to action. Help us build a better tomorrow for Silicon Valley. And this campaign, in addition to the print, the digital, all the digital work, raised $2 million, which is way over their goal from previous years. So so that's a quick taste. And we have this card deck we developed with applying behavioral principles specifically to fundraising, but could be applied to other forms of engagement as well. And so hopefully that gives you a quick taste of how we help to shift organizations, achieve great results across different areas, and including overall shifting the models and raising revenue.
Right. So questions that came up, Bryce asked, is one of your main targets not-for-profits?
It is, although we've done a lot of work with business as well. My focus has mostly been in nonprofit, although Larry's has been on the business side. So as the RSSA, the Social Security Project demonstrates, that was a business, we can work with both business and for-profit and nonprofit.
I have a question. You presented this, at least in the on the sign up, as focused on behavioral marketing or using behavioral principles. Is there anything specifically that you could speak to, a behavioral principle and how you used it?
Yeah, well, I think like for these, we really try to engage the donors. I think a lot of, I had one, I was going to show kind of a before and after of like a brochure of, it has a photo. It's a typical brochure, it has a photo, has the name of the organization on it. And like, all right, what does it do for you? I think there's like a grave mistake or a loss of opportunity to actually engage people in your mission or sell your services, whatever it is. If you're not thinking about physically engaging them in something. And so asking a question, having the answer reveal on the inside, constructing, a house, engaging them in the physical act of something and getting their mind to think about something that's relevant rather than talking at them. So that's what we try to do, with these pieces here, is like physically engage someone in your marketing. And then like with this one as well, we tried to, instead of just asking, do you know someone who's Jewish that would be worthy of a prize? People don't think of things right away, but the availability heuristic shows that people, if something's top of mind, they're more likely to think of it. So by prompting people with this kind of fun game-esque ad, we're saying, oh, do you know, it's kind of saying, who do you know that's Jewish? Did you know these people, here are Jewish, Chelsea Handler, or, so we're engaging someone to think about creatively and prompt their, imagination, get their mind working rather than just kind of asking them something like, oh, no, I don't know anyone who's Jewish.
So here's like a where's Waldo kind of thing. It does, does make you look at all these people.
Yeah.
Other questions? Yeah, I didn't know Janet Yellen was Jewish.
Yeah, so we had on the full website, there's the mobile there. The full one, we actually had the names on them on a rollover thing, so you can go and it brings you into the whether or not you vote, but it's a way of trying to get you in to nominate, but to pique your curiosity, try to go viral, and and engage people. Same thing with this approach with the I didn't specifically point this out, but we to kind of showcase the civil rights type of organizations that Spielberg was donating his $1 million to, the regift of the Genesis Prize Award. We took Rosa Parks' bust, the actual bust that she wrote on, and we put other civil rights icons, Martin Luther King and Cesar Chavez and Betty Friedan and so forth. And so, you look at it and you're like, who's that? You figure, you kind of draws you in, and, it prompts you to kind of think about things rather than just kind of speaking at you. So, and that ad unit did better than Spielberg's decision. And there were a couple of other ad units that, that we tested.
And you put the white people way in the back of the bus. That was smart.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any other questions?
Hi, it's Jane. I had a question.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Actually, two questions. The first one was, is the company, do you have in-house teams that, because you're talking about a wide swath of disciplines, marketing, graphic design, public relations, thought leadership, all of that. So do you have an in-house group, or do you create teams per project?
Yeah, so Larry and I, so our model is not very scalable at the moment, because Larry and I do all the work on our projects, at least the top level work, the strategic work, and we'll write and design things. We work with a web development firm for web development. We do work with a media company for that Genesis Prize, because there was a ton of media and Facebook and other media work there. So we have some partners that we work with, but we're a small team that's very hands-on.
And this second part of the question, or the second question,
But we will, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We will partner as necessary with with other people, though. Sorry, go ahead.
Have you applied any of the behavioral marketing in the political field?
We haven't. I would love that opportunity to, because that's a political, both Larry and I are very, are kind of political junkies. So if we had that opportunity, we would both relish that. Thanks. Particularly on, whether directly for political candidates or for, voter outreach or civic engagement or other, issues around that.
Thanks.
Cool. Okay. I'll take one more question if there is one.
Yeah, I have a question. Thanks, Michael. So Howard, that was very interesting. Can you tell me, because your projects all seem so different, how do you size a proposal up front, and how do you sort of pitch it? I guess it's that thing of like, well, it has to be more than like, hi, I can help you, right? So how do you sort of define what the help is going to be, and how do you sort of figure out how much effort and time it's going to take on your part?
To do the work? Well, yeah. So typically we've done project-based work, like brand strategy work. And so it's a clearly defined scope of work. We need to do, figure out what our brand is, and so, here's the set of discovery. We'll do interviews, online focus groups, whatever it would be. And, we'll come back to with brand strategy recommendations. We'll do messaging, we'll do naming if that's needed, visual identity, and then, other, how that extends out with the website and other materials. More recently, we've been working on a retained basis. So an organization that needs to, like with Genesis Prize or with Life Moves, we're their agency of record, working with them on an ongoing basis. And so we'll define the scope of work for them, like with Genesis Prize, it's handling, this process, which is, there's going to be a nomination process. There's going to be the, getting people to vote. Then there's going to be the announcement phase. And then there's like 3 or 4 micro campaigns during the year. And so we can define, the specific scope of how many videos we're going to create and, the work that's going to be in there. Same thing with Life Moves as a set of, these 6 campaigns during the course of the year. And then we'll work on, so we'll price that in, as a monthly retainer.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Howard. Very impressive. So does anybody need to leave early? Because I could move them to the front of the line. Okay, so I am going to copy and paste the order in which people have Victor. It would be Victor, Jane, Ken to start with. And this is so Victor, Jane, Ken, Bryce, Rajiv. And I'll start, might as well take 2 minutes. We have a little bit of flexibility, but take it away, Victor.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everybody. Nice to see familiar faces, some new faces. So what I do right now, my main project is I'm basically a fractional CMO for an elder tech company. So what we do is it's an on-demand elder services app. And our target market is basically us, right? Folks of our generation who may have some responsibility for elderly relatives who are generally independent. But every once in a while, if they need help, someone to take them to the doctor, take them shopping, maybe spend some time with them, help them wait for the plumber. We provide that on sort of an a la carte on-demand basis. So we have an app that handles all this. So for example, if someone needs to take your aunt to the doctor, you go into the app, you indicate the service, the date, and so on. And then you get a list of pre-approved team members. And then you get to pick who you want, and they'll take it from there, right? They'll show up. They'll make sure your aunt gets to the doctor. They'll wait with them at the doctor's, and then make sure that they get back home. So we don't provide the transportation directly, but we can help arrange the transportation. If they need a cab or an Uber or anything like that. And as I'm sure everybody knows, right, especially after the COVID thing, right, obviously a major vector of COVID was nursing homes. And I think John Oliver just had a really scathing piece on it last Sunday, about how terrible nursing homes are. So I think more and more people are trying to stay out of them. And, elderly people, want to be independent if at all possible. So what we do is we help that by kind of providing this sort of service. My business partner says that since this is a group of marketing folks, we're in the guilt mitigation business. And I apologize if I've used this gag before, because when the elderly person calls you and says, "Hey, Michael, can you take me to the doctor?" Right? They're going to feel guilty for asking. And then when Michael says, "Well, gee, I'm really busy. I have work. I have to take care of my kids," right? Then Michael feels guilty. So what we do is we relieve the guilt on both sides, and we get somebody in there who's qualified and trained, and we can help both the adult elder and the adult child. So we're looking for obviously direct prospects if there are any, but there's a huge elder services ecosystem. Elder elder law attorneys, accountants, home care aides, physical therapists, all those sorts of people, and everybody has their own niche. So we're certainly happy to meet, folks in that space, and, partner with them to, discuss clients, prospects, and everything else. So, so it's called our website is getzage.com. I'm happy to chat with anybody who's interested in learning more. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. Jane, then Ken, then Bryce. Jane, you're up.
Thanks, Michael. I am a Jane of all trades in the communications marketing field. So I have a background in corporate communications, worked for agencies, worked for large companies, worked for startups, have been consulting since 2015, and every client is different. Working with a large nonprofit now that's going through some changes, and we'll have kind of do everything. So I might be writing press releases for one person. I might be editing a CEO speech for another person. I might be ghostwriting a byliner for a CEO. More often than not, have people calling me saying, they want publicity, what we call earned media now. And I am usually pushing back and saying, do you have a website? Do you have a brand? Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have all the tools in place? And more often than not, trying to get publicity or trying to get a story in the New York Times, which is the classic everybody's wish, is, I have to end up turning back on the client and saying, what kind of research have you done? Who are you trying to reach? Exactly what your message is, and then exploring all of the different marketing tools that are out there, because there's a myriad number of them, especially digitally. I seem to be doing in the last 2 years more byliners, and more recommendations to people that they just have to create their own content. Goes back to that basic concept of content is king, and are you creating content yourself that you own, that you can share, that you control, and then we'll look for ways to get it out there. So it's certainly morphed over the years from the old days when you really call 3 TV stations and 2 newspapers and put out a press release and get pickup. And more often than not, it's really helping people explore all of the different marketing techniques that are out there and explaining to them that they may have to spend a little money instead of trying to get free publicity. So.
Very cool. And Jane, are you doing any work in writing for search engine optimization?
I haven't done a lot of it. Obviously when I'm writing press releases, that's a big part of it. But that's a good point. And a lot of times I'm writing something for a website that exists, and I usually will recommend that whoever's working on their end of it is making sure that their content is SEO appropriate.
Right. Okay. Because there's a couple of products. One that one of our members has that might be of interest called Inc. What's it called? To price Inc. Something. Inc for all. Incforall.com.
Yeah, I think Bryce and I spoke. So
cool.
I have to keep an eye out.
This is actually not Bryce. It's what's his name from Edgy. Gary Heyman. That's his product.
Oh, okay.
But Bryce and I were on a call with him today.
All right, thanks.
That's why Bryce came up. Okay. Ken Simon, then Bryce, then Rajiv. Ken, you're up.
Hi, I'm Ken Simon. Victor, I got a question for you, because I think I would like to set up a time to talk to you, just because I can tell you my wife's going through some issues, and I think I was looking at your app, and I think it's missing a couple of things or ways to work with people to make it easier.
Yeah, great. I'll reach out to you, Ken.
Okay, yeah, but just so you know, I mean, it's very relevant to what's going on in my household right now. But anyway, I work with small and mid-sized companies, helping them understand who their customers are, what their needs are, and then develop the appropriate strategies for them to use. I've worked with companies to help redesign their websites. I have developers who I'll use for that, but it's also involved with content management, content creation, SEO, and then developing the appropriate strategies to go after those, the advertising and digital strategies and email campaigns as well. I've worked with startups in the financial services industry, as well as another startup that was involved with helping people reinvent themselves when they were changing careers. And in both cases, it was using video news clips to communicate with how to get the messaging out, and short form video, 3 to 5 minutes in length, which was very effective, though there's a big drop off after about 1.5 minutes when someone's viewing a video. So you have to be very succinct when you're doing the video, or have something catchy so that you catch their eye. I'm looking to work with companies in the financial services industry, technology industry, helping them market themselves to their customers.
Financial service and technology. Okay.
Right.
That's a focus. Do you have those on your listing as
Yeah,
areas of specialty?
I do.
Okay, that's good. Good timing. Okay, so Bryce, Rajiv, and Andre.
Hey everybody, good to see everybody again. I've been away for the last couple of weeks because I kept forgetting to log on and actually click the button to get in here, but welcome back to me. So I've been doing quite a bit recently with 2 of our flagship products. So I did a presentation in early March, I believe, about Ad Cannibal. So basically it's for large enterprise companies that spend a great deal of money on search engine marketing on Google. And that's been doing really well. I had a number of calls with Michael today, which went really well. There's a lot of opportunity with it. So that's been going really well. So the opportunity there for everybody here is we pay a referral for any closed business on an ongoing basis, as long as they're a client. So if anybody has connections to large enterprises that spend a decent amount of money on search engine marketing, yeah, lots of opportunity there. But what I was going to talk about today specifically is one of our other flagship products that's been going really well. Basically, like somebody mentioned earlier, content is king, and that can be amended a little bit to what was the word? Not content performance is king is what I was getting at. And one of the ideas or one of the purposes of content is for people to look at it, right? And we have a thing called News SEO that has done really well for a lot of clients. It took a little bit for us to get it going properly, but now it is going quite well. So I had a client recently use this, and we ranked 200 words for them in the top 30 with one cycle, and this is meant to be a monthly cycle. And 150 of those went straight to number 1. Obviously the words were not like super high value, but the idea is to do it over time, and based on the article that we use as a seed for the process. Yeah, it has a very. Am I able to share, Michael?
Yeah, but you're out of time. But so you can sort of give a synopsis of it.
Yeah, I'll just show this really quick.
Oh, do you want to share? Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
He can use a minute of my time.
I'll just be really quick. So this is basically Hush City here is one of our clients that we did this with. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. Enemy got in there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 out of the top 10 positions on the front page of Google were taken over by this process. So that's one of the things that we're really pushing right now. And yeah, if anybody is interested in this, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, there's a little. I think Bryce's team is exceptional at finding sort of loopholes in sort of the Google algorithms and the way they structure things. This one is based on the fact that news doesn't get penalized. In fact, it gets boosted for repeat, right? If there's multiple places that post the same news article, then it sees it as, oh, this must be important. And
yeah.
So, and you can definitely post news in local areas very easily. And so this system basically takes the same article and pushes it out to lots of local news sites, and it boosts your
really well. But yeah, Thanks, Jason.
Okay. So Rajiv, Andre, Regina.
Okay, awesome. Can I share, Michael?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so this time I will be testing another video. So we've started new video production called Puppet Videos. And if you scan the QR code in my Zoom background, it'll take you straight to it. But beyond that, I figured rather than talking about it, let me show you. So here goes.
You know, I don't even know how to scan a QR code.
Use your camera. It'll
Is
pick
that
it
what
up.
you just turn the camera on?
Just turn the
Okay,
camera on.
can
and-
everyone
I'll do
see
that.
my
Okay.
screen?
Yep.
Okay, sweet.
R Square Media. Be seen or not be seen.
Whoops.
In the age of COVID-19, all we have is online. Online meetings, online interactions. How we appear online is critical to our business success. Clients say, I want to be seen on page 1 of Google, on page 1 of YouTube, on page 1 of Instagram, on page 1 of Facebook. Are you ready for your customers? Does your website have a modern design? Is it easy to use and understand? Does your website have fun videos? Do you have 5-star reviews? R Square Media also helps you not be seen. How? 1-star reviews deleted from Amazon, from Google, from Facebook. Bad press deleted from Google. Risk-free, success guaranteed, or your money back. Haters gonna hate, but bad press and bad reviews don't have to be your fate. Don't wait and request a free consultation.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll be sharing the link to that video as well if you want to watch it again and get some chuckles and giggles. My ask is to meet other marketing professionals, and well, that's why I'm here. Specifically, what I've seen is that other marketing professionals will typically white label us for our reputation repair services for their clients. That allows them to continue to be the single point of contact for their clients, and they are free to mark up our services to whatever extent that they feel the client has the appetite for. And on the flip side of that, if they don't want to get their hands dirty in all this repair business, they can simply pass the referral to us. And if it converts, we do a 10% revenue share, which is our standard operating procedure. It's even mentioned pretty publicly on our website in pretty large font as well. Yeah, I will also post my LinkedIn link. Would love to connect with anyone that I haven't spoken to before or recently. And yeah, that's my ask. And to add to that, if anyone happens to know entertainment attorneys or sports attorneys, an introduction would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. And
Those are the kind of clients that get in trouble, huh?
Well, yeah.
All right. All right, cool. Let's see. Rajiv, Andre, then Regina, then Jason. Andre, you're up.
I'm happy to have ladies go first if she.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Go first.
Go for it. You're on. You're next. You don't want to mess me up, do you? Go ahead.
No, okay, sure, that's fine. As I said in the chat, I've known a fair amount of you a fair amount of time. I think Rajiv and Victor and Michael in particular. Rajiv and I went to the same college at different times. He's much younger and better looking than me. But at the end of the day, I work for a division of the USA Today network. We're basically a digital ad agency for local, regional, and national brands. We get about 150 to 170 million eyeballs into our network every month. And using whether that's SEM, SEO, website construction, all the way up to really high-end programmatic executions. There's not a whole lot we can't do. And again, we have we have access to that USA Today network, the first-party data that is so coveted today, in particular. So again, it's Andre. Funnily enough, we were on a national sales call. It seems as if the actual brand name Reach Local is going to go away very soon, and we will be known as Local IQ across the board entirely. But I've been with the company for for a little over 11 years now.
And Reach Local, as you know, we've connected with Bryce, but there's a lot you could use. You
Oh,
could do
sure.
with his
Yeah,
stuff.
we had a call about 2 months ago, shortly after his demo.
Right. All right, cool. Let's see who is next. Regina, then Jason, then Scott. Regina, you are up.
Okay. Name is Regina Shanklin, and I'm a marketing strategy consultant, largely working in healthcare, but I can work in other industries. And what I normally do is work ahead of the tactical plan. So I work mostly in communication strategy, so determining the right segment and target audience, and then the right messaging that would go to them for when you would want to launch a brand or relaunch a brand. So that's largely how I am hired. I also work with agencies. Sometimes I'm an account person. Sometimes I'm the strategic person. So I'm working with a medical education agency right now, helping them do some advertorials in a new disease area. And then I also do training and working with companies and coaching. So there's something that I'm doing now that cuts across industries that could be interesting. So there's COVID, and then there's risk management with COVID. So helping companies really pressure test what they think the scenarios are going to be. It's like the next normal, and pressure testing their plans and helping them come up with mitigation for that and growth opportunities. So that's like a 2-week sprint that we do. And we sit down with people and work with their management team and really fine tune their plans going forward. So that's what I do. Love to connect with anybody on LinkedIn and have like a brief chat, and that's it.
Thank you very much. There was something in the news today about how the bad news about Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is like affecting the third world horribly because they feel like they're getting a second tier vaccine.
You know, I just had that. It would be my luck. A week after I had it, they pull it off.
Probably still better than the Chinese vaccine. So
yeah. The Chinese vaccine is like tossing a coin, flipping a coin, tossing a coin. 50% effective. Okay. Is it Scott next? Is that right? No, Jason. Jason first.
Oh, cool.
Jason.
All right. So Jason Cement, I run an agency called Get Visible. We do something we call transcendent marketing, which is building websites and promoting them to put you #1 in your industry ahead of your competition. The one thing I'll share with you right now is I just found out 2 weeks ago, and I put it in the chat thing. I did a test for 2 weeks. So there's an IRS tax credit that will give you back up to $10,000 in your spend. You'll get a $5,000 tax credit if you make your website ADA compliant. So we do that as one of the things that we do. And I ran an experiment on LinkedIn. One post got 8,000 views, one got 3,500 or so, and the other one got 1,400, I think, all on the same IRS tax credit. And it's very interesting to see what LinkedIn is pushing. So, I mean, I did a little bit of boosting with the network that I think I've shared with you before. And that's it. I mean, we work with the other side of my identity is e-commerce. So we have an e-commerce platform. I'll put it in the chat. It's called Adricom. It's a very robust solution for e-commerce. It's a blend of like WordPress functionality for blog and content with e-commerce and membership, and then a whole host of other things. It's all embedded. And the newest version has APIs speaking to external applications. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jason. And Jason has been a super connector for me on the West Coast in particular. So thank you. I did prompt him. I went through his LinkedIn and said, can you introduce me to these 8 people? And sure enough, he did. So I really appreciate that. Okay. And last but not, no, well, I guess I'm last, but Scott Lang.
Well, hello, everybody. It's good to see many of the old friends that I've met here or even knew before, and people that are new today. Welcome. I want to use my minute or whatever a little differently today. I can just tell you that I focus on partnerships and alliances. I have clients like the Black Entrepreneur Initiative, And we're working with lots of major corporations to uplift Black men and women and other minority business owners during this COVID crisis and economic crisis with knowledge, tools, and support that are online and a SaaS platform. I also am working on an e-commerce project in the building and I guess home improvement area. I'm also working with an EPA enlisted, it's the top listing of EPA approval for a company called Germ Barriers, doing their marketing, and with the team that I met here, Diane Prince, I don't know if you're on the call today, and Tim Gannon. Trusted Referral Network has been an excellent connection for me. I'm already working with a number of you. You know who you are, and I'm looking to work with more of you. And I want to thank Michael for all of what he's done to this date and getting us all together and continues to do. I have a couple of people, Michael, I'd like to introduce you to. I also just quickly want to say this. My father invented hydrocortisone at Merck in 1953, and he's been in the pharmaceutical business until he retired. This J&J stuff is BS. A regular flu shot is 40 to 60% efficacy. What's going on is politics. Number two, Rajiv, I've been in the sports and entertainment business before this for many, many years. I know more attorneys than you can possibly talk to. And three, Jason, I have a client that is looking at e-commerce that I will hopefully talk to you down the line when they're ready. And Andre, you and I know what we're doing already. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And Scott is a super connector. And Scott, your client that you're writing blogs for, that would be perfect for Bryce's SEO news SEO.
Bryce, reach out to me. My father is very ill now, and I'm leaving tomorrow at dawn for St. Augustine for about a week. But if you can put a thumbtack on the bulletin board and reach out to me, yes, Toolcase. It's confidential for everybody here, but I do the blog writing, the news articles on toolcase.com about AI and fraud prevention and detection and prevention.
Right.
Sure,
Really
I'll reach out at the end of next week.
Good topical stuff. Okay, I'm going to go to gallery view.
Victor, you and I got to get to that.
And I will do my 2 minutes. So thanks everybody. Thanks Howard for doing the presentation today. As you know, my name is Michael Bendit, and my company is Software Development Resources. So I tell people that I founded this group, but I'm also a member. So I eat my own dog food, as we say. It's been helpful for me to be part of this group. Certainly been connecting with lots of people, and gives me an excuse to reach out to people because I have something to offer in terms of the network and bringing them into the network. Getting back to Software Development Resources, I represent 10 teams that are boutique software development agencies, and we do a lot of work with marketing agencies, digital agencies that don't always have the internal resources to do that programming work. Oftentimes it's also not the most profitable for them because there's some hard costs associated with having people spend time coding. And it's also difficult to estimate exactly how long it's going to take. But when they work with one of my teams, we usually, almost always give them a flat fee and we stick to it. So it mitigates some of the risk associated with the markup. Just had somebody in my network, actually with David Edelman, I think, who connected me with another advertising agency. People know maybe John Sadowski up in, and John has a client who has an Adobe Experience Manager website. It's actually, they're a franchise of an organization that's forcing them to use Adobe Experience Manager, and they don't have a team that knows how to use it. So they have to move all of their content over to this new platform, and they're sort of being forced into it. So I do have a team that does that type of work. They're an offshore team based in South America. In fact, that's the focus of their entire practice. So that's the type of problems people bring to me, whether it be a platform or they need to, they've been using a freelancer and the freelancer is not being responsive. They need to move up to a team that's a little more responsive and professional. So that's it for me. I don't have anything in particular. We are looking for people to take on the showcase next week and thereafter. So if anybody's interested in doing a showcase, as you know, it's 15 minutes, usually 10 minutes of a presentation. Howard did a bang up job today. And then 5 minutes of Q&A. Rajiv has done it twice. Scott's done it. Jason's done it. Regina, you haven't yet, I don't think. Ken hasn't. Bryce has, but it's open to everybody. I am already engaging in upgrading the website. We're going to do a major upgrade. I'm not sure. It could take a couple of months, mostly to make it more functional, expandable. And of course, my ask for everyone here is connect with each other already online. I mean, one-to-one, that's just a great way to do it. If you want to find people and you can't find them on the website because you really have to know their company name. If you say, oh, geez, I met somebody who does XYZ, just ping me. I'm happy to connect you. That's pretty much it.